I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. We often miss opportunity because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. 5% of the people think, 10% of the people think they think, and the other 85% would rather die than think. The three great essentials to achieve anything worthwhile are, first, hard work. Second, stick-to-itiveness. Third, common sense. Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. If we all did the things we are really capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this: you haven't. Nonviolence leads to the highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. To invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. Negative results are just what I want. They're just as valuable to me as positive results. I can never find the thing that does the job best until I find the ones that don't. There are no rules here. We're trying to accomplish something. The doctor of the future will give no medication, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. Just because something doesn't do what you planned it to do doesn't mean it's useless. The most necessary task of civilization is to teach people how to think. It should be the primary purpose of our public schools. The mind of a child is naturally active. It develops through exercise. Give a child plenty of exercise for body and brain. The trouble with our way of educating is that it does not give elasticity to the mind. It casts the brain into a mold. It insists that the child must accept. It does not encourage original thought or reasoning, and it lays more stress on memory than observation. I have friends in overalls whose friendship I would not swap for the favor of the kings of the world. I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun. Restlessness is discontent, and discontent is the first necessity of progress. Show me a thoroughly satisfied man, and I will show you a failure. We are like tenant farmers chopping down the fence around our house for fuel when we should be using nature's inexhaustible sources of energy, sun, wind, and tide. I'd put my money on the sun and solar energy. What a source of power! I hope we don't have to wait until oil and coal run out before we tackle that. Tom Paine has almost no influence on present-day thinking in the United States because he is unknown to the average citizen. Perhaps I might say right here that this is a national loss and a deplorable lack of understanding concerning the man who first proposed and first wrote those impressive words, the United States of America. But it is hardly strange. Paine's teachings have been debarred from schools everywhere, and his views of life misrepresented until his memory is hidden in shadows, or he is looked upon as of unsound mind.
Study, along the lines which the theologies have mapped, will never lead us to discovery of the fundamental facts of our existence. That goal must be attained by means of exact science and can only be achieved by such means. The fact that man, for ages, has superstitiously believed in what he calls a god does not prove at all that his theory has been right. There have been many gods, all makeshifts, born of inability to fathom the deep fundamental truth. There must be something at the bottom of existence, and man, in ignorance, being unable to discover what it is through reason, because his reason has been so imperfect, undeveloped, has used, instead, imagination, uncreated figments, of one kind or another, which, according to the country he was born in, the suggestions of his environment, satisfied him for the time being. Not one of all the gods of all the various theologies has ever really been proved. We accept no ordinary scientific fact without the final proof. Why should we, then, be satisfied in this most mighty of all matters, with a mere theory? Destruction of false theories will not decrease the sum of human happiness in future, any more than it has in the past. The days of miracles have passed. I do not believe, of course, that there was ever any day of actual miracles. I cannot understand that there were ever any miracles at all. My guide must be my reason, and at thought of miracles my reason is rebellious. Personally, I do not believe that Christ laid claim to doing miracles, or asserted that he had miraculous power. Our intelligence is the aggregate intelligence of the cells which make us up. There is no soul, distinct